Layoffs now confirmed at the local railcar plant as they continue to wait for their next big contract. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Those major layoffs at Thunder Bay's Alstom plant are expected to begin as soon as May 9th. A company spokesperson has confirmed that up to 230 workers, more than half the current workforce, will be out of a job by the end of summer. It all comes as the plant waits for a much-needed $2.1 billion contract to build Toronto's new subway cars. Jessica Clement has the story.
Thunder Bay's Alstom plant is preparing for significant workforce reductions starting at the end of next week, as a streetcar contract for the Toronto Transit Commission starts to wind up and eventually come to a close.
The layoffs have officially been announced. Earliest ones are starting mid-May, and the final layoffs will take place around the end of August. About just over 200 people for the entire facility, just under 200 for the Unifor members.
Unifor Local 1075 President Justin Roberts says the layoffs will be carried out in phases as individual stations start to shut down. There are currently 370 Unifor members, but when the layoffs are done, there will be around 170. Alstom has another contract on the go, which includes refurbishing hundreds of GO trains, but that doesn't require the same level of workforce as a streetcar contract. Roberts says morale has taken a hit, with members uncertain if they'll be able to come back at all.
A lot of our senior members that have been here for many years, they know the ups and downs of this industry. So a lot of our senior members are used to the layoffs. But a lot of our new members, we have had major conflicts or contracts over the last few years, so a lot of our new members aren't used to the layoffs, and they're the ones that become the most worried, especially about their futures and the uncertainty.
Last week, Transportation Minister Prabmeet Sarkaria sent a letter to Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow asking that the city and the TTC consider sole sourcing the manufacturing of 55 new subway trains to Alstom. Thunder Bay Superior North MPP Lise Vaugeois has also been advocating for the subway line cars to be built at the plant. Roberts says while things are still up in the air right now, he's grateful to see so much support.
Since the beginning of all this, Minister Sarkaria and Doug Ford's team have been very supportive of the work coming to Thunder Bay. Olivia Chow's team as well has vocalized that they're supportive of us getting the work as well. And I hope this letter really does speed the process up, because with these layoffs coming right now, it would be nice to have some good news coming to the facility.
He adds that if they do get that contract, there could be enough work to bring back all of their members, as well as some extra workers.
Skill set's very similar. And again, because the LRV streetcars that we're losing right now is a rolling stock new contract, as so the subway cars. The refurb work inside is a little bit different, but it definitely still uses the same expertise.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
A Thunder Bay police officer charged with assault testified today that he believes the force he used to take down an intoxicated man, take him to the ground, was necessary. Staff Sergeant Michael Dimony is facing an assault charge following the arrest outside St. Joseph's Heritage in October of 2016. Dimony testified in his defense at the city courthouse on day 3 of his trial. The officer said he and his partner were called after 2 intoxicated people were asked to leave the PR Cook apartment complex. Dimony testified that he and the man knew each other from school and that the man challenged him to a fight and charged at him. Dimony then dropped his shoulder down, tackled the man, and put handcuffs on him. The court will hear final submissions tomorrow. The full story can be found later tonight on tvnewswatch.com. The province's Special Investigations Unit is probing the circumstances surrounding the death of a woman in police custody in Kenora. The SIU confirmed the death today, 3 days after OPP issued an initial release about her arrest Saturday morning on an outstanding warrant. She was placed in a cell at the local detachment and went into medical distress the next morning. First aid was administered and paramedics took her to hospital where she was placed on a ventilator. She was pronounced dead shortly before 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. 3 SIU investigators and 2 forensic specialists have been assigned to the case. Premier Doug Ford announced new measures this morning aimed at strengthening Ontario's bail system, but the Premier also took the opportunity to vent frustration over what he calls the entitlement of judges in the province. CTV's Siobhan Morris explains.
It was supposed to be an announcement about tweaks Ontario can make to bail, but the Premier eclipsed it with a rant he says he's been holding in for 7 years.
What right do they have, an unelected politically appointed judges determining our budgets.
Doug Ford taking aim not only at judges he says are soft on accused criminals, but derailing his government's agenda.
We get democratically elected, and some judge slaps an injunction on bike lanes.
The government is appealing that injunction that blocks the removal of bike lanes on 3 Toronto streets. That's until a decision is made on whether the removal is unconstitutional.
Last time I checked, there hasn't been any judges elected. Maybe that's the problem. We should do what the U.S. does. Let's start electing our judges, holding them accountable.
Not something the provincial government has power to decide. But Ford is floating another way to get people on the bench who see things his way.
You know, one of these judges that are bleeding hearts, I can't wait till they retire. Matter of fact, I'll pay him to retire earlier.
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association calls Ford's comments deeply alarming, stressing the need to respect judicial independence and rule of law to maintain a fair criminal justice system, something echoed by the opposition at Queen's Park.
When the Premier starts talking like this, it's dangerous.
The judiciary are not there to further our agenda. They're independent. Their job is to impose the rule of law and to interpret the rule of law.
Pointing out Doug Ford's frustrations sound a lot like someone else.
When you're fighting Trump, to sound like Trump when it comes to respecting the courts and due process doesn't do Ontarians any good, doesn't do Canadians any good.
The opposition says the answer to anger over potentially violent people being released from custody is more funding for the courts.
People who should who should be behind bars are not. Their cases are being dismissed. And people who are innocent are stuck behind bars and not getting their day in court.
The government's introducing legislation Thursday. It includes measures to hire more judges, to work through a case backlog, and to speed up the appointment process. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A long stretch of the TransCanada Highway near Wawa is expected to be closed for several days after heavy rain caused multiple washouts and extensive damage to the roadway. About 200 kilometers of Highway 17 between Wawa and the Goulet River is blocked after Tuesday's rain. Photos posted online by Ontario Provincial Police and others show extensive damage to the roadway. OPP say crews are working to repair the damage and the highway will reopen when it's deemed safe for travel. The Canadian Mental Health Association branches in Thunder Bay and Fort Frances are teaming up with Alpha Court to help support the expansion of a new mental health and well-being centre. It's called Northwest Recovery College, with a base here in Thunder Bay. Recovery College is offering free virtual and in-person workshops, educational events, and community connection points to members of both CMHA branches and Alpha Court. Classes are meant to be both informative and interactive, with learning on topics like addictions, depression, and anxiety management. Alpha Court Executive Director Nicole Latour and CHMA Director Kathy Campbell were both on hand for the announcement.
Today is a soft launch of a new initiative that's taking place between Alpha Court, CMHA Thunder Bay, and CMHA Fort Frances, and it's a recovery college that we'll be offering to our members. And it's an initiative that I'm very excited for. We'll be offering courses that will assist people in their journey towards the recovery.
At CMHA, you can literally, if you're just walking by and you're like, oh, there's CMHA, I wonder what they offer. You can come right in our door. We have intake workers that you can meet with, and they can help explain the services that we offer, and that's where they'll hear about Recovery College. So if someone comes in after hearing this today on the news, and they're like, I want to do that, I'm interested in that, they just have to come in, we'll meet with them, and then we can get them to be a member of New Foundations through CMHA.
Recovery College's vision is one of hope, empowerment, possibility, and connection. Their services are available to anyone in the community, as you heard there, who is interested in their support. The numbers are in from Elections Canada on voter turnout here in northwestern Ontario. All three area ridings saw lower percentages than the national numbers. Across Canada, 19.5 million people voted on Election Day, either during the day itself, during advanced polls, or through special ballots. That's a 68.7% turnout, the highest since 1993, and 6 percentage points higher than the 2021 election. In Thunder Bay Superior North, the turnout was 67.8%, slightly behind the national figure. In Thunder Bay Rainy River, 61.8% of eligible voters turned out, up from 58.8% in the last election. And in Kenora-Kiiwetinoong, the turnout was 60.2%. Hundreds of special needs students from local elementary schools were introduced to a variety of sports today. The annual Special Olympics Multi-Sport Festival took place at the Fieldhouse at Lakehead University. Justin Hardy was there.
Has today made you want to keep doing more sports as you go up in higher grades?
Yeah, a little bit.
The annual Multi-Sport Festival is designed to get special needs students involved with sports. Nearly 300 kids from schools across the city took part, starting with high fives from Thunder Bay law enforcement officers and Special Olympics representatives. Then was a dance warm-up and game of tug-of-war with the officers. Special Olympics Thunder Bay volunteer Keith Nutley says it's incredibly important to get these elementary school kids involved with sports.
As I spoke earlier in the opening ceremonies, I had a grade 2 student with me, and I also had an athlete that just went to the World Special Olympic Games in Italy. And it's just the opportunities for these young athletes to go to Worlds. They can go do so much with sport, right? But there's so much more to sport. It's just the involvement, competing with their friends, meeting new friends. There's so many positives out of today.
Nutley says that the most popular event seemed to be the obstacle course, but two of the athletes we talked to had their own preference. What is your favorite activity so far today?
I kind of like floor hockey. I'm gonna go same with him.
According to Special Olympics Ontario, athletes that get involved with the program are 49% less likely to develop depression and 15% less likely to develop diabetes. School and Youth Program Manager Jaden Miller-Booth says events like these are the first step to building a lifelong involvement in sports.
Access is tough. Facility costs are up. It's hard to get access to sporting equipment. It's hard to get time to participate in extracurricular activities. There are no extracurricular activities for our students, people with ID, in most communities. There aren't equal opportunities for them to participate, and there is not funding. These events provide that for them, and it's a phenomenal experience. You can see there's over 230 people here, all smiles, and this is just the first step.
Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Tim Hortons customers have already started seeing those famous chocolate chunk cookies with the smiley face made out of icing as the Smile Cookie campaign returned this week. The Thunder Bay Tims are once again supporting two local charities, the Dewdrop Inn and the George Jeffrey Children's Foundation. Charity reps and Tim Hortons officials celebrated the campaign with a midweek launch today. It officially started on Monday, and the staff on Sibley Drive say cookie sales have been great so far. Last year's campaign raised about $96,000, which supported vital programs and services by the two organizations. Dewdrop Inn Executive Director Michael Keebell says they're happy to be a recipient this year as well.
It's absolutely amazing. It's such a magical campaign. We get to go around and hand out cookies and make people smile, and it's just been so much fun.
We have been very grateful to Tim Hortons and all the volunteers that come out and decorate those smile cookies so we can sell them and make sure we raise the funds needed for our organization and other organizations that Tim Hortons supports here locally.
We're always about giving back to the community. We do so many campaigns, whether it's Smile Cookie, Camp Day, sending local kids to camp, our Timbits soccer, our Timbits hockey. Giving back is definitely what Tim Hortons is all about.
The Smile Cookie campaign continues until Sunday. And a lot of people may have needed one of those Smile Cookies today, Haley, because the weather probably not putting a smile on people's faces just yet. Better than we had yesterday, but still not quite where we want to be.
Yeah, no, I definitely needed a little boost today. I had a Smile Cookie to up the mood a little bit because, yeah, mostly cloudy today, so a little on the dreary side. Plus, a high of 5 is definitely lackluster for this time of year. I can't believe that tomorrow is the start of May already. This isn't what we want to be seeing for this time of year, but things are leveling out a little bit. Yesterday, I was saying how weird it was that we had our high for the day at 1 in the morning. Today, we saw our high for the day at 2 in the afternoon. So that's more of what we should be seeing for this time of year. Now, although it's not very warm, at least it's coming around the time that we expect to see it. Our low also fairly normal at 6 in the morning, colder though at -6 degrees with a wind chill of -8. So we want to see those temperatures boost just like our mood is when we have a smile cookie. But some areas today did see lovely temperatures. As you see in Fort Frances, they're at 17 right now. And even Atikokan's at a very comfortable 14, 10 in Upsala. Now it is overcast in Fort Frances. They are expecting to see some light showers as a system is moving into the west. And we can actually see the influence that some rain can have on temperatures, as areas like Red Lake, although they're at a nice 11 right now, they saw their light rain in the morning, so they have been warming up since then. They've had a cloudy to mostly cloudy day, but their rain has passed, where areas like Kenora and Sioux Lookout, who've seen rain most recently, Dryden as well has also seen some light showers this afternoon into this evening. There are some cooler areas to the west. We see 7 in Sioux Lookout, 9 in Kenora, 8 in Dryden, and up in Pickle Lake, they've seen rain today as well. They're just at 4 right now. We see 4 in Armstrong, 3 in Greenstone. Now these areas, they have just been overcast and cloudy today, but they have been seeing some stronger winds. So in Thunder Bay, we saw a bit of a push in gusts from the south, like both ranges. So ours was mainly from the east, but it was east-southeast at times, where mainly a range from the south was pushing up and making it colder in the North Shore and across to the east in Marathon. They're at -1 right now. Wawa is at 3 though, so they've bumped up a little bit within the last hour. And Sault Ste. Marie, they're at 8. Under mostly cloudy skies. Now for Thunder Bay tonight, we will stay mainly cloudy, but we will be above the freezing mark, which is good for this time of year. We're usually hovering around the freezing mark for an overnight low at this time of year. Now our winds from the east, like I mentioned a little while ago, predominantly from the east in Thunder Bay, could still gust up to 40 kilometers an hour in the next few hours, but they will die down as the night goes on. And no, we aren't out of the woods yet as far as cooler than seasonal temperatures go, Ryan, but wait until you see the weekend forecast. That's really what I'm holding out for now. You're gonna wanna see it, and even into Monday, a special little surprise.
Oh, well, everybody likes those nice weekend days. That is what we wanna see. Okay, thanks a lot, Haley.
No problem.